WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Now, here's your host, J.W. Simmons, as we consider closely what we should know.
Welcome back, folks. We Should Know's on the air. My name is J.W. Simmons. I'm your host. I want to thank you for being with us today as we bring you information and education from different people in the community, things happening right here in Eastern North Carolina that you need to know about, whatever county you're in. Most likely we're touching that. Also uploaded to YouTube and other social media platforms. We Should Know is now going to its 14th year of airing, and we've talked about a number of things. One of the things we have talked about and want to continue that conversation today is the YMCA. The new director of the YMCA, John Adams, is with us. John, thank you for coming in, taking time to take a seat and having a conversation, not just all about the YMCA, but I want to get into your vision for the YMCA. You've got a somewhat of a stellar background, Cincinnati. You've graduated with a degree in psychology. You have been, I started to say award-winning, but you've been involved in sports very aggressively. And the big thing I have developed with you off air as we've been talking, you are a major extrovert. You love to engage people. And I can only imagine what a huge plus that's going to be as you move forward with the YMCA. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me and welcoming me to this community. That is, has been for me some of the most humbling and exciting experiences is meeting the people of this community and being welcomed here. I feel like I've been here a long time, actually. So
well, you're going to find a lot of friends here. I want to kind of start the conversation with a quote, and it's from local media. When you first published here, local newspaper says, you say basically, as a healthy living engagement director, my goal was to listen to our members and tailor our classes and programs to best meet the community's need. That's a quote from you. And I think I told you before, I really like that as a healthy living engagement director. We got a lot of work to do to get to that, whatever that healthy living thing is, both psychologically and physically. Let's expand on that to start with.
Sure. The YMCA has really our three fundamental principles. That's healthy living, as you mentioned, youth development, and social responsibility. Those three things are really my backbone to what we do whenever we create or whenever we conceptualize ideas. And I think for me, you brought up the fact that engagement characteristic. And if anybody knows the Y, or any of our viewers are YMCA employees, they'll get a chuckle, because I think the running joke is our titles change so much within the Y. But the reason they do, and the reason that engagement word is on a lot of the titles of the staff, is that we've recognized that people need to be welcomed back. And I think we have seen, sadly, a decline in healthy living activity, be it in the schools, be it in gyms, in gymnasiums, be it even in our parks and rec. They're not coming out in the way they used to. And so what we have to do is we've got to listen, and go out to them. We call that Y without walls, because if we're not getting out there in the community and we're not promoting what it is our mission, then you're never going to find us. And I think it's going to continue to be this isolated population not knowing where to go. And so I love to engage in ENTJ, for those of you who, like you mentioned, the extrovert. And I truly enjoy people. I got the degree because I love to be able to study the mind and the body and the spirit of all of the people we're working with.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to tag on to the spirit part. Recently, we've had some church leaders on, and we've talked about the need of engaging that community of younger adults, teens, early teens, and even senior teenage people in something to do. In rural areas, particularly where you are right now, there's a huge number of folks that is looking something to identify with. And certainly we looked at faith-based organizations, and it just struck me, you are sitting at the top of and leadership of an organization that grounded itself in the youth and the need for youth to have a connection.
We are, as I said, that component of youth development is massive because these are the leaders. These are the people we want to be sitting where we are. Mm-hmm. And we can't do that if they can't find a safe space and a place where, as we say, for all, mm-hmm. they can come in and be who they are. Mm-hmm. We meet them where they are. And we have this truly judge-free zone of opportunity to accentuate their strengths. Mm-hmm. And that's really, I think, it's what the Y does best, is we find what that common denominator is between them and us, and we kind of accentuate it. We let them grow, whether it's, at a young lifeguard program, teaching them how to be CPR, AED certified, our young referee program, getting them a knowledge of how to become a referee and know the game inside and out. Or even just coming onto the floor and being a group exercise instructor. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of young folks don't realize that they can get into the industry, they can become engaged as early as 15, mm-hmm. which is phenomenal, because I know parents, especially as we're getting ready for summertime, what in the world are they going to do? And get out of the house, mm-hmm. And find something. And I think the Y can give them everything from a basketball court to a staff shirt. And mm-hmm. that's exciting for us, that we can open up our doors in a huge way to a huge audience.
You mentioned something that struck me also, is this idea of the mind-body connection and trying to deal with both of that. We're living in a society today that for some reason it seems that everybody's looking for a pill that they can take that'll take care of everything. And it struck me as you said that there's not really a pill that can take care of a lot of the issues. What you can do is deal with that in an opportunity platform.
That's it. I had a chance to work at GNC for a while, and I know that question so well, because it doesn't matter. That miracle pill does not exist. And I know that, especially now, I think we have so many fads, so many get ripped quick shots, things that people are willing to try and willing to do because they don't want to put the work in, mm-hmm. or they don't have the ability to get somewhere quickly or consistently. And I use the word consistently because that is a huge piece of who I am, is mm-hmm. that continuing to show up, mm-hmm. and never giving up mm-hmm. on that kid, that person, that staff member. We never want to give up on them. And I think what we do is the Y gives a long-term solution to building healthy habits. Mm-hmm. And right now, thankfully, our world is understanding the importance of mental health. Mm-hmm. We're seeing it from government levels all the way to private level. And we're embracing that. However, I do believe that sometimes our society still has that stigma that, they'll never really be able to do this because they have this problem. It is, for me, handy capable. Mm-hmm. It is the ability to take somebody who, for whatever reason, was kind of pushed aside, mm-hmm. and we're kind of bringing them out. It's the same story that I had growing up. I think I viewed challenges when somebody doubted us or doubted me. We viewed that as a challenge. I viewed it to go forward and really and genuinely give it my best effort. And I think when the Y came to the community, there was that, what is this place? And there was that doubt. Yeah. But because of what we're able to do with the youth on a long-term scale, and keep them coming back, continue to get that retention level up. And that's because we are willing to give them programming and work with them. Like you said, we listen to hear what they need and work to develop that program that, that really kind of caters to what their needs are.
I particularly like the way you put that, in that it's handy-capable, because oftentimes we look at life in many situations as being a handicap. So changing the terminology, just changing the vision up here to allow us to see something different is so critical.
I love working with staff from all different backgrounds and all different skill sets. I keep going back to that accentuating of a skill set. But we have seen over the few years that I've been with the Y, I've seen some of the most amazing staff and amazing members come in and work out and work with us. And I'm just amazed every time I come to the Y. That's the fun part about it, is every time you go, you never see the same thing twice, really. You never experience the same thing, because it's always, as we in the Y that work here, we joke that you're never going to get the same 2 days twice. You're always going to have those problems. You're always going to have those issues, but we have to embrace that and get excited about it. If a kid comes in and he is so excited because he's just coming off of school and he's got all this energy and he's running around, sometimes the natural reaction is, oh man, look at this kid misbehaving. What in the world? Why? At the Y, what we have been trained to do is advocate and work with that youth and get them certified on weight room etiquette or how to be able to properly use machines or just working on technique of swim strokes or whatever that point is. We really, I guess it's almost a redirection. We take that really hyper, or on the other side, maybe they're really sad. Maybe you have, a man or woman of service coming home. I think our area, we have tons of veterans on staff. We have a lot of men and women of service.
We're going to take a quick break, pick it up today. When we come back, we're going to talk about expanding the definition of the YMCA.
Experiencing slow internet? If you have a fast internet package, the problem is most likely your wireless router. With more devices using Wi-Fi, your wireless router may not be able to deliver the speed and coverage you need. We now have the leading solution to enhance your internet experience. Using small devices in a mesh network, these Wi-Fi appliances cover just about any size home so that all your devices can operate to their fullest potential. Whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Get the most out of your internet connection.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home, and we strive to provide the best communications services. STAR is committed to improving communications to all our service areas because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. STAR Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
Welcome back, folks. We're talking with John Adams with the YMCA, the director of the YMCA in Clinton, North Carolina. We Should Know has talked to a lot of folks. One of the things over the past few shows we've mentioned and tried to deal with a lot of issues related to youth. John, the youth and the YMCA, that word is synonymous with each other. You're an engaging person. You bring people out. I just want to mention that you've had several coaching positions and training positions with the Houston Baptist University, Rice University, University of North Carolina at Wilmington. You've been involved in key engagement and leadership roles throughout your career. As you sit here today, and as we talk about some of the things that the YMCA brings to the table, what do you see, and what would you say is not necessarily the vision of the YMCA, but John Adams' vision for the YMCA in this small town and the surrounding counties that it represents?
Sure. It comes down to one word, and that's trust. The people of Clinton and its surrounding areas, this is the first time they've seen the brand. They've heard about it, and maybe they had an opportunity prior to see it at other locations. Now we bring a consistent brand that people can get behind and understand what that brand can bring. And that is programming that builds healthy mind, body, and spirit for all ages. And I not to say that it is certainly a youth programming, but it is, for me, awesome to see a grandmother, her grandson, and family come in, and you see these multiple generations who the Y gives them a little something different. It gives each one, whether grandma's doing some of our seated fit classes, or in some cases, grandma's taking part in a Murph challenge, which we've got coming up, because we have phenomenal athletes of all ages, or the young person playing out on the soccer field and having an opportunity to see YMCA out in the field or in the community college or a different location. So I think I'm a coach at heart. That's really what it boils down to. Whether I'm coaching people on machines or coaching staff and new policies and procedures that are coming through. I love the idea of teaching, continuing education. I think we all have to continue learning, and the Y gives this space of continuing learning. A lot of folks don't really correlate the Y with the place of learning, but for somebody like myself who has based his career now off of this, I see it every day as a chance to develop somebody and give them the tools that, maybe the Y is not for them forever. And maybe they're there temporarily because they're home for college and they need some extra change. We want to give them the opportunity to set them up for success. And truly, for those of us who were able to put the Y on our resume, employers see that and they realize, they're like, okay, that brand, that means something. That person has had to do something in their time with the Y that either pushed them out of their comfort zone or gave them a certification that has really given them the opportunity to be a leader. And I love the word that you use there, and I appreciate you recognizing that, is that I think I really want to present that leadership to them. I've heard the term boots on the ground. I say that a lot because I like to lead by example. I like to get out with the people. I like to kick the soccer ball with them. And I think that's it. I think a small town can get behind that, because what I have even seen within the walls of our own Y here, this interdepartmental connection. Somebody from aquatics going to the Healthy Kids Day on a weekend and helping out. Somebody from Healthy Living helping out at membership desk to give them that. So this collaboration, and I was talking a little bit about that, even within the city of Clinton, you're starting to see collaboration between small businesses. You're starting to see connection between Parks and Rec and a YMCA. So those abilities to network and elevate a brand and work together, partnerships is a massive deal. I came to the Y through a partnership of a local soccer organization, and that connection helped us build the largest and the oldest recreation soccer program, and then with Wilmington, I'm continuing to expand now throughout the entire Cape Fear region. And that's, again, partnership, working with organizations, seeing them not as a competitor, but a collaborator. And that gives us that ability to give our resources, help provide resources to that business that might potentially really elevate their own clientele.
I'm just picking up on a part of your observation.
I go around, don't I?
No, you're right on. You're right on it, and I totally get it. And what you're talking about a lot here is removing barriers to success. So, with that said, give us your sense of some of your biggest challenges that you're anticipating or that you've had to face to remove some of those barriers to bring people together as far as being more inclusive.
Sure. No one likes change. And I know that on a personal level, all the way up to a professional level, change is uncomfortable, especially in an industry like fitness where routine is so vital and one of the core characteristics of a lot of folks. And you know where I'm talking about is the folk that comes in and they swim. They have to swim at a certain time. They've got to get lunch at a certain time. They've got to get home at a certain time. Scheduling.
Yeah.
Scheduling. And so, one of the biggest challenges when the Y came to the community was it was not only a change in the brand, it was a change in scheduling. It was a change in clientele. It was a change in the community. And one of the things that I really want to be able to do is let all of those who are hesitant or nervous about the Y to understand that this change is a heartfelt, here for you, how can we help change, and not do it our way or we don't want you. That is, I think a lot of businesses now, when they put their brand into a community, they're finding the value of coming in, meeting the society or the community where they are, and not full stop, it's going to be this, how we're going to roll this. It's how can we take some of those things that you had in the past that worked and meet us, and we'll let you know what worked for us, and develop that sort of conjoined programming that is a beneficial program for all. And sometimes the hardest thing too is certainly getting the buy-in from the staff and getting the buy-in from the board and all of those who don't know me from the next director. And they want to know, am I here for the long run? They want to know, all right, where's your heart? What is the true motivation here behind this? And for me, this is a long-term game. And, it is something that the Y in many places has been around for hundreds of years now. And we are new to this community, but very old to the grand scheme. And so bringing that mission, bringing that philosophy of, as you had mentioned, putting Christian principles through programs that build, again, healthy spirit, mind, and body. It's a trust, and it's a consistency, and it is a grit to be able to keep going and keep showing up. And whether it's a person showing up because maybe they had a diagnosis of Parkinson's, or maybe they sadly, they struggle with obesity. It's not, a lot of times it's not their fault. This is nothing that they can control. You see me getting emotional because I think people sometimes they get scared because of the judgment of others. And as I sit here from a personal level, we want to remove the bias and we want to bring that person in and let them know it's okay to suffer. The obesity thing is a real deal, and it's vicious. And I see how it can cut a young person down. So I hope that they can see the Y as a safe place.
I really get it, and I appreciate you sharing from your heart, because what you're saying, not only do you feel it, but you understand it. And what I hear you saying to our viewers and listeners, I get you. I get you, but more importantly, what I hear you saying to our viewers and listeners, I've got you. And that is probably, to me, one of the most profound, caring things anybody on this show can say or has said. When we come back, I want to switch gears and talk about public schools and how you can engage public schools. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. We're talking with John Adams, the YMCA director. You want to stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. The service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network, working quietly in the background. Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
Announcing a super spring savings offer from Star Communications Security. Throughout the month of May, receive a free outdoor Wi-Fi camera when you purchase an alarm system with Total Connect video monitoring from Star. Experience the confidence of being able to see
and hear
what's going on at your home or business. All this from the convenience of a smartphone or mobile device. Do not miss out on savings valued at over $200. Be sure to sign up during the month of May to take advantage of this super spring savings.
Welcome back, folks. We Should Know's on air. J.W. Simmons here, your host. I want to thank you for being with us. Coming up on halftime here in the show today, we're talking about the YMCA. I could say, the YMCA, who is the director, John Adams. John, again, thank you for being here. And thank you so much for sharing. And the first half of our show, we really got into a lot of kind of tangible things and things that really show us that you have a deep feeling, not only for what you do, but for the people that you're reaching out to. And speaking of reaching out, we're one of those unique kind of areas that's got two public school systems. We've got a city school, Dr. Wesley Johnson. We've got a county school system, Dr. Jamie King. Both superintendents are in this county. Both superintendents are very focused on the youth, growing the youth, some of the things you spoke to. Give us an idea of how you network, or how you want to network, or how you would like to see network in the YMCA into the public education arena as a whole.
Both Dr. Jamie and Dr. Wesley have been in the Y. They, Wesley actually is on our board, and Dr. Jamie has coordinated. We're about to launch our second grade swim initiative, and both see the value of the resources that the Y can bring them. I got to start though with the teachers. Happy teachers, healthy teachers create healthy students and happy students. We're working with the school system to provide discounted memberships to the teachers, to let them get in there all times of the day, to be able to work out at the Y, have a place to go to the Y. So we want to create that environment where the students and the teachers can see each other outside of the school. And I know it's as odd as it is. I know we were all that point when you saw the teacher at the grocery store, you're like, what in the world? Yeah. We want to create that same sort of dynamic of this coexistence and relationship building outside of the school. I think sometimes the two want to get away from each other so quickly. Yeah. I think the Y can bring them back together. I think the schools are going to play a massive role within our youth services department. We now, I'm excited to announce our latest partnership with Sunset Avenue to be able to offer after-school care. The Y is the largest provider of child care in the country. A lot of folks, they say the YMCA, child care, like what? And it's a wonderful, wonderful, best kept secret, I guess, that we have such a thriving youth services department and branch. We're one of the few associations that has youth services as its own branch. Corey Marshak does a phenomenal job of bringing schools into the overall network of the Y, giving summer camps for kids. Because once, we're 2 weeks out, trust me, I've got a son who reminds me of every day how many days left in school. So they're going to need a place to go. And our summer camps, whether they're in Wilmington, whether they're in Camp Kirkwood, whether they're here in Clinton, we give them the opportunity to stay with us all day and be that environment for them, whether they're swimming or they're playing on the basketball court or outside at the field. They have a chance to be able to burn off that energy. I'm an old school advocate of burning off energy. And I think a lot of that mental piece could be curbed if we, so to speak, we run it out of them and we bring it out of them and allow them to just, as I do myself to this day, when I get frustrated, I go to the weight room and I learned that skill set in college and it paid dividends for me because channeling violence and aggression into others is such, in my opinion, a cowardly move. Whereas if you can channel that inside, take a look at yourself and say, how can I become stronger? Get underneath a squat rack or get out and go to a race or go for a long run. And I think what's happened, sadly, is that, a lot of the kids have just lost that creativity and that really desire to channel in alternative ways. And, we've got to be able to help educate the parents, going back to the education piece, educate and work within the school system to be able to teach about the programming that they can get involved in, letting the teachers know they can get the discount on their membership, within the city schools, we're moving forward within the county to continue to welcome all. And it's not just the teachers. I know our all the staff that help day to day, counselors and janitorial staff and all of the groups that go forward with them. We have to really be able to just continue to give those individuals a place that they can see and they can consistently be at. And then on the alternative end, being able to get into the school system, help with food. We have a nutrition department within the YMCA. Our food services department, Amy Hobbs does a wonderful job. I just actually, before I came here, I just saw her and she said, I'm going to be feeding your babies throughout the week. I'm going to be bringing food up there and we're going to continue to work with them. Local businesses, if I'm allowed to speak on air, Pizza Inn, we just worked with them. They're going to be giving us pizza to the kids on Fridays over the summertime. So that right there, give a high five. Local businesses coming in and supporting the kids and food. Take away anything else, man. Hungry kids are angry kids. And I know that very well. That hangry spirit sometimes, that is another thing that they need. And I think being able to provide meals consistently within even our summer camp, breakfast, lunch, being able to provide that, that's a massive piece to what we do. And not to go back in the past, but we as a Y, after the pandemic, a lot of folks don't realize that we delivered over 250,000 meals across New Hanover County, and we got on our buses and we worked with the food services department and the school system, and we got food into the homes of these families that needed it. And I saw such an amazing, and I met so many great food service employees. Such a shout out to them because they didn't stop. They did not stop. And the why did not stop. Yeah, we changed our model and our approach, but we still were there and we still kept going. And I think that ability, when people saw that the brand kept going and provided for them and kept showing up, we certainly made a lot of fans, out of that group during a very vulnerable time. So I talk so much. I'm sorry.
No, you're right on point, because I'm picking up on a number of things, and one of them, I'm going to circle back to a couple of things that you just talked about, which I think is important. And one of them is that idea with not only teachers but students, and removing that perceived bubble that exists around people, that you don't know them only if they're standing in front of a class, that you don't see them as another human being, as somebody that has challenges like you have challenges. And that's huge, I would think, and you could answer that better from a psychological point of view, because if you can identify with somebody, you can better listen to and more willing to adapt what they're saying.
I call that an accountability partner. And my accountability partner is my dog. You'll see me running on the streets with him. He always wakes up no matter what time of day, and he's always ready, but what we're doing here is we're giving a community the opportunity. So many folks come to the Y and they don't even work out. They come because their friends are there. They come because they know they've got a group that are maybe suffering from the same problems that they are. We're going to be providing community health programs up here. Programs such as our Live Strong Cancer Survivor Program, such as our Parkinson's prevention, living with diabetes. So when you say you've got that partner, or you've got that person there that you can look to and look up to, it's such a wonderful feeling. It's amazing to me, playing basketball with Wesley. He'll probably be like, oh, come on, I can't believe you're bringing that on air. But I played basketball with him, and I met a young man, I forget his last name, I apologize, but 6'7", played at UNCW. Jason is his first name, so for your viewers, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about. But he came out, and I truly looked up to him, but such a humble and such a well-positioned person, coming out there, and the ability through the Y, this is 6 ways to Kevin Bacon, but through the Y and through Wesley, I was able to meet somebody who I know kids have looked up to and still look up to. And that is what really, that ability for me to have conversation and then learn about new individuals and what they bring, and the role models that you're able to find within the walls or outside. So we say, you have so much support, and you have that ability to connect. I just heard from our CEO talking about loneliness and this sad pandemic that continues to grow of lonely, active older adults. That one is sadly becoming a larger and larger population.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about that loneliness, anxiety, and stress adds to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
How can your friend save you money? It's easy. Refer a relative, coworker, neighbor, or friend to Star Communications. Friend signs up for high-speed internet service. Friend's new account is confirmed. Friend gives your name to our service representative as the one who referred them to Star. You receive a $30 internet credit. It's just that simple. And even better, receive a $30 internet credit for every referral that results in a new confirmed account. High-speed internet from Star Communications. Refer a friend today.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up. And more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
He forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
Welcome back. We Should Know's on there. Coming up on this last part of the show today, my name is J.W. Simmons, your host. We bring you information and education, and hopefully, if I think you have, been educated today and informed today by the director of the YMCA in Clinton, John Adams. John, thank you for being here. We've talked about so many things. I think I could sit down and probably cover 2 or 3. Maybe we just need to sign up for a semester and do it. I don't know.
I think we do. This is a 6-part series.
I want to kind of move the last part of the show to a number of things that you've alluded to, and both I think is important, but I think it's so critical for folks to see the YMCA in that light. And with your background in psychology, your background in sports, and activity, it all's coming together here. So one of the things that struck me is this idea of how important it is to have a place like the YMCA that you can go to and actually deal with stress and anxiety and remove toxicity from your mind and your body. Let's pick it up from there and talk about that.
Sure. So, the thing that we're seeing, like I talked earlier about this isolation, the problem that we're finding is that people are resorting to technology in a bad way. And I mean that because I believe they have certainly found comfort in just that media, and they need to they feed off of that negative, toxic media, and they buy into it and they subscribe to it, and they now sadly look forward to it. So what I am hoping that the Y can do is redirect the goal of what it is that is most important and start to gradually shift the psyche of, I need this phone, or I need this headset, or I have to have earbuds in, or I have to just be so plugged in that I lose track of what we're doing right now. Conversation. If nothing else, come to the Y for a conversation. I love when you walk into the Y, you see welcome in a lot of different languages, but more importantly, you see a smiling face, or you see somebody who is recognizable from the past, and they welcome you in and give you that idea of, interpersonal connection. People need it. People absolutely need it. And I know artificial intelligence is coming. It's coming in a major way. Whether you're investing in it or producing it, the idea that computers in general are replacing human contact is scary. And it's my job to remain relevant as a facility. I heard somebody the other day, like, you work at a gym? I mean, haven't those all closed down by now? And the comment was, sadly, it happened. We saw so many Ys close their doors during and after the pandemic because of the fact that they were membership driven, a lot of them, and people just, it was too far away or they didn't feel safe. So what we had to really do is we had to pivot and figure out how to get into the homes of these folks that were there, how to get on phones and at least, while their heads are down like this, at least if I could put a virtual class on the phone, at least they now start to see. And we took some of our teachers and we started putting them on YouTube and we started putting them out there. And we all know that the virtual platform is a thing now.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the pandemic, we got that. Yeah. We're seeing about a 60-40 split. 60% are starting to come back. 40% are still not coming back. So we want to build this hybrid, if you will, give them a lot of resources that they're used to. And one such idea is what we call functional training. This is becoming a very mainstream word. And it's been going on for generations. When you're pulling your lawnmower cord or you're climbing a tree, now we term that functional training. Essentially your day-to-day, everyday movement pattern. What we want to do is give them the opportunity within a gym to do what they did at home, but now with a friend, because it's okay to do that. So these functional training spaces and sort of unorthodox way of thinking of, using space where like we've never used it before. Our board president's going to shift on this one if he hears it, but the racquetball court, racquetball sadly has gotten eclipsed by the world of pickleball.
Absolutely.
So we've had to really kind of update what we're doing, put lines on the courts, and join in on the pickleball generation.
But that is another generation. It's a whole older population.
Well, it's all ages now. Yeah. It's just it really is. It's caught on. But the idea that we are able to adapt to the times and stay modernized, it answers that question of what are you doing working at a gym? The answer is I'm remaining relevant. And I am, in fact, continuing to give resources to folks that are still scared, still nervous, or really just they've hit that block. They've disengaged. And so it's my goal now to meet them where they are and get them excited. I hope you're getting excited today for joining.
Absolutely. And I think you're exciting the viewers and listeners today. And I think the big thing I keep hearing is like you want folks to come and join you in engaging and removing that polarization that seems to exist around individuals and groups. They don't want to get out of their element. They don't feel comfortable out of their element, but there's so much to see. There's so much to get involved in. As a fellow extrovert, I think you understand it. Some people just have anxiety when they think they're going somewhere, but I'm hearing you say, and I'm hoping folks out there that's listening and viewing are hearing, I'm here to engage with you.
Right. And I'm here, as you saw earlier, I'm here with all my problems too. So, when you're coming in here and you're seeing a smiling face, and that's one of the biggest things I tell our staff. There's the mantra that I go by and subscribe by, and this isn't mine. My former executive director, Shannon Berg, gave me this, but friendliness and cleanliness. Those two components for me are really what will differentiate us. And we're smiling, we're remembering names, we're welcoming back, because you don't know what they just went through and what they have at their home or workplace. And the last thing they want to do is get even more criticism. So we want to be that friendly environment. And we want to tell them, bring your struggles in here, burn them off on the track, burn them off on the machine or with a group exercise, your favorite group exercise class. But cleanliness, it's in our song. You can come and get clean. That one is so massive. And I'm not just talking about dusting machines here. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about coming and getting clean. And I think that was, for me, one of the things that I really and genuinely latched onto, is that being able to bring that spirit and clean what is inside of you is not easy, because the last place you want to look is inside. And if negativity and fear are the two things that live within, that's nasty. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, it is a place where you can come get a shower.
Hit that refresh button.
You can definitely hit that refresh button. You can receive a smile. You can receive a high five, a pat on the back, and that's the big thing. You're not going to get me to cry again. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I'm working it.
I know.
I'm working it.
Every question, I feel like since I started crying, you're coming right back. You're getting at me.
I think the other thing is I hear you saying too is, and a lot of people will be asking this question, well, I've got to drive all the way to Clinton. I've got to go. But you're willing to engage in partnership with recreation departments. Already you've talked about you have and continue to engage with public schools. These places are all over the county. What you're looking for also, I understand, is ideas that not only magnify, but increase the volume of possibilities for the YMCA.
What I was amazed by as I moved here, the business involvement, just actually speaking with the assistant police chief, and he was telling me about all the things the police do in the community and all the fairs and the festivals. We just went to the Viva Vikings Fest down at the community college, which was, I was amazed to see that Hispanic community, which I genuinely want to reach out to.
We've got a huge population.
Absolutely. Bienvenidos to all of those. And I want to keep amplifying businesses as well as all backgrounds.
Well, it's been indeed a pleasure to have you today, and we will continue to work with you in the encouragement realm. Hopefully you'll have time to come back, and maybe we can do maybe a panel. We can work with you and our partners with Departments of Recreation, both city and county. We can also work with you, the public schools. But a big thing for this area, and I know you've seen it as you've driven around through the counties in eastern North Carolina, is steeples. So we've got a lot of faith-based organizations, and they're willing to step up and share those same principles with you. So John Adams, thank you. Thank you for being the director here, and thank you for being part of this community.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on We Should Know. My name is J.W. Simmons, and may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.